Welcome back to my amazing channel. Come, let's elevate your kitchen. After this, your kitchen is not going to be boring anymore. After this, you will have ideas on what to do to make sure that your kitchen is elevated and it looks expensive. It does not necessarily need to be expensive, but it needs to look aesthetically pleasing, but also look absolutely expensive. Okay, this is very budget friendly and a lot of people can do it, and it's going to apply to people who are renting, but it will also apply to people who are owning their treatment. The first thing that we're definitely going to talk about is your window treatment in your kitchen. If you have the cafe curtains, if you have any types of curtains in your kitchen in 2023, explain 10 marks to all of us. Explain, why do you still have cafe curtains or any type of curtains in your kitchen? Especially your sink is right under your window. How does the optics of that, how do they work? I want someone to tell me, if just explain to me the optics. Some of the things that we do in our homes is things that we saw in our, where we grew up, right? We saw our mothers do. Like, every kitchen I lived in when I was growing up, it had a curtain. Yeah, that was in 1994. 2003 today, right? Why are we not transitioning with the times? Why are we not moving with the times, babe? And I know you like nice things, and I know you like a beautiful, modern, stylish home. Why do you still have those curtains though? Explain. I want you to drop a comment down below and let me know, what window treatment do you have in your home? Do you have aluminum blinds? I know other people are not fans of aluminum blinds, and that's okay. People prefer zebra blinds. Zebra blinds are also just amazing, just as amazing. Roller shades, just as amazing as well. So whatever you prefer, whatever your style is, absolutely. And another reason why people prefer zebra blinds or roller shades or Roman shades is because you can add color with them, right? With blinds, you become really limited, especially aluminum blinds. I mean, you can always go black, that it's not gonna look nice. You can always go silver gray, or you can always go white. But okay, the second thing is pots, right? There has been a wave or a trend of people obsessing with pots lately for the past maybe 18 months, which I have been loving, right, on social media. I've been absolutely loving. It would not make sense then to me if wena usasebenzisa uhat. Ngoba, because uhat akakho cheap. Uhat imalini 500. Is it 500 rands? The nice looking pots are literally 1,000 rands. You just add 500 more. Why do you still have heart? What do you love so much about heart? Okay, let's say unayo heart. Do you only have heart? Only? Nothing else? Heart, if you live in South Africa, you know what I'm talking about. Why do you only still have heart? Why? Explaining. I'm just here to understand. Why do you still have those pots? And why only them? And why do you still put them for people to see? Explain. I just want to know. And maybe this is a personal preference, but guys, as soon as I started living on my own, I ran away from heart. I bought heart because it's what I saw my mother cooking with. That's what I grew up, knowing as the pots that everyone uses. But I just never liked them. Everything I've ever cooked in them burns or whatever, and I don't have a good experience with them. I just don't like them, and aesthetically they just don't look good, and also they are on the cheaper end of things. Why would you go and buy things that look cheap and are cheap? Babes, if you don't have money, buy things that are cheap but don't look cheap. Guys, come on. We can't teach you everything. You have to know this, that you don't even need to go get iron cast pots, guys. There are pots that look amazing, that are non-sticky, that you can get from Checkers, from Macro, from anywhere, for like 1,000 rands. Even you can even go to China Mall, still get pots for just under 1,000 rands, or just close to 1,000 rands, or just over 1,000 rands, that look aesthetically pleasing. Explain to me, why in 2023 are you still using the pots as is our chisukutya? Why? Why in 2023 do you still use heart? Explain to us. I just want to understand. I'm not saying don't have it, but it should not be the only pots that you have, especially if you want an aesthetically pleasing. Like, just hide them. Make sure people don't see them, because babes, I've never had a good experience with heart. Those pots will literally just burn whatever you cook. Another way you can elevate your kitchen easily is to look at the things that you put on top of your counters. This matters, okay? Most of our houses, especially if you have a small house or whatever in South Africa, the minute you come in, the first thing you see is the kitchen. I know the bigger houses, you have a hallway and all of that. That's nice and dandy. But most of the houses, when you go in, the first thing you are in contact with is the kitchen. Ungene kitchen, right? So that really matters because that's the first impression that people would have of your home. So you really want to keep that space absolutely clean and absolutely dashing and stylish all the time. And a big part of that is how you decorate your counters and what you put on top of your counters in your kitchen. I'm talking about pots. I just talk about pots. Also, make a hat on top of your stove. If you have abo hat, please just shove them away so that we don't see them and just keep it thinking. You don't want the first thing people see in your house is like, oh, that's a cheap pot. No, they can say, oh, that's a cheap pot, but it does not look cheap. And the second thing is your kettle, right? Nowadays, guys, there are kettles that look so much bigger. If you still have the kettle, 150 rands from your shop, right, or wherever, I don't understand. Please explain to us, why do you still have it? Because it does not make sense. Those plastic kettles don't make sense anymore. They don't look nice and the colors are always just crazy and they always just come out of the aesthetic, the modern aesthetic. So what you want to do, and something that is so simple, change that kettle, your 150 rands or your 200 rands from Clicksnap, take that kettle and put it away and buy yourself a kettle, the one that is a glass. That one is actually not that expensive, guys. It's not that expensive. You get those for like 300 rands, 400 rands. Not that expensive, and they also last quite a long time. I remember the first kettle I bought was a Russell Hobb, the glass one, and that kettle lasted me for probably 4 years. I literally changed it because it broke. It not necessarily because it stopped working. It lasted me like a good 3 to 4 years. If you can't afford Smeg, go with that. And guys, let me tell you this is the biggest plug that you can take from this video. Nowadays, there's other brands that have amazing, beautiful kettles that look just like Smeg. The Hills project that we did there, we gave the client the Kenwood appliances, which is the toaster and the kettle. These are the ones that look quite just as good as Smeg, and they come in such beautiful colors just like Smeg. So you are not gonna come here and be like, no, Smeg is expensive, set, we can't afford Smeg. Yeah, but there is things like Kenwood where you get a kettle for 1,000 rands, right? Smeg is like 3,000-4,000 rands, but you can get a Kenwood that just looks exactly the same. I mean, Kenwood is an example. There's so many other ones that looks exactly aesthetically pleasing as Smeg, but it's a little bit cheaper. And especially if you like that vintage look, Kenwood has literally a whole range that looks amazing right now. Remember, you only can't afford these things right now. Later on, you're gonna afford them. I know you like nice things. You like nice things. You would really like nice things, but at the moment, you can't afford them. What you do, you take the things that are cheap but that don't look cheap for your home. Come on, elevate your space yourself, budget friendly. And also, if you watched my video of the things that are making your home look cheap, plastic was one of them. Try and avoid plastic as much as you can. I understand that there's some things that are going to be plastic in your home. Absolutely. We all know plastic looks cheap. We all know this. So try and avoid plastic, including in your kettle. Avoid plastic in your kitchen. Another thing is, and this is not going to apply to everyone, but it might apply to a specific number of people, right? If in your kitchen you have the top cabinets, those top cabinets that have glass doors, it's an amazing style and it is an amazing touch to add to your kitchen, but you need to be very careful what we do not want to see, because now what you are doing by introducing those glass doors, you are welcoming our eyes inside your cupboards. So now you're going to need to make sure that you keep that intact and you keep that looking amazing, right? Because now we can see what's inside there. What you're not gonna do is put a Tupperware inside there. What you're not gonna do is to put food inside there. Don't put things that we don't need to see. Don't. The best way to use those top cabinets is for your glasses, your wine glasses, champagne glasses, your flutes, and all of that stuff, right? If you don't have enough of those or you don't have those, you can use those for your plates and bowls. But we need to be very careful. Please make sure they match. So this one is for my renters, okay? People who are still renting that don't necessarily want to, put a lot of money towards doing something to their kitchen because it's really not theirs. And also there's the landlord that we need approval from and stuff like that. So I know a lot of people, especially if you live in a bachelor or in a very small unit, the kitchen would come with only the bottom cabinets and not come with the top cabinets. And people are always just like, oh, okay, I don't know, this is how it is. This is an option of what you can do, but obviously this is after we've gotten the permission from the landlord. You can get floating shelves. I'm not talking about floating shelves, the short ones that you get from Leroy Merlin or builders. There's ones that are quite long that you can get at Tim Builds, that you can get at all these other wood places. You can get the thick, long ones, floating shelves that you can just even put 2 in there, and then you can use that to, decorate, use that to put your dishes there. That is such a brilliant idea that I think a lot of people who are renting, especially at bachelor units, they are missing on. I mean, there's so many, you can choose whatever color of floating shelf you like. You can choose, there's so many things that you can choose from, whatever taste you have. Another way of, elevating the space with the floating shelves, you can also add backsplash tile to just, kind of put all of that together. A lot of people that are renting, my renter peeps, I know that they don't necessarily want to put anything permanent in their space. But guys, if you are going to live here for the next 2 or 3 years, are you really okay to live like that for the next 3 years? I mean, if you're gonna live here for only a year, you'll have a year list and then you're out, I understand. But if you're gonna live in this rental for a long time, I remember I lived in my rental for 3 years. That was a long time. I've done something with it and I regret not doing something with it, because in the back of my mind I always had that mentality that it's not my home, it's not my house, and I didn't enjoy living there for that 3 years. But now I'm looking back, I'm like, there's so many things that I could have done to make that space mine and make it feel mine. But when you're a renter, we always have this mentality to go to, nope, it's not my house, I'm not about to put money. I understand, but you can put a little bit of money. You don't have to put a lot of money. And sometimes the changes that you do don't have to be permanent. Things like backsplash tile and your floating shelves are not permanent. And I made a video, if you've been here for a while, I did make a video when I changed my backsplash tile. This is another small nyana change that you can do in your house that can literally elevate, even if it's your own house, but right now you don't want to change the entire kitchen, you can just change the backsplash tile. It will elevate your kitchen instantly. I'm gonna link the video that I did when I was changing my backsplash, and it just took my kitchen from not so good to amazing, right? And I think I also went through the budget there. Those things are not, I think I spent about 1,000 rand, 1,500 on that. I mean, 1,000 rand, 1,500, that's how much you spend on a weekend or even more. So you can definitely do this, babes, okay? You right? Can definitely. The last one I want us to talk about is your countertops. Can we please keep declutter? When you get into a kitchen and your eye is not resting anywhere, it's just like this, because there's just so much. And also countertops are there for a function. They are there so that you can work on them. Other people call them work tops, because you need to work on them when you're chopping your thingies, whatever you're doing, it's there for that function. Cupboards are there so that you can store things. You don't store things on top of your thingy. There's a few things that are only functional. You only put things that are functional, things that you use a lot on top of your countertop. So your kettle, you use your kettle 5 times every day, so it needs to be on top. Your toaster, if you toast every morning for your kids or whatever, then we understand it can be on top of that. If you make coffee, you can also put your coffee. If you make coffee every morning, air fryer does not stay on top of my countertops because I don't use it every day. It stays inside the cupboards. When I need it, I put it on top of the countertop. Why is your air fryer there? Unless you use it 5 times a day, then okay, maybe that makes sense. And so utensils that you use every night when you cook, understandable, they can be on. You can have. Don't put things that you don't use a lot on top of your countertop. Why do you have your blender there? When last did you make a smoothie? Why is your blender there? Why do you have your cake mixer there? That cake mixer thing. Why do you have it there? When last did you use it? When last did you bake cake? When last did you bake muffins? Why do you have things on top of your counter that you haven't used in 2 months? Why are they there? You can store. That's why you have cabinets. Cabinets are there for storage. Go store that in there so that when you need it, you can just take it, put it on top of your worktop or your countertop, use it, and then when you're done, put it back. Simple. No, you have a blender. We know you have a cake mixer. We know you have all these nice, beautiful things, the air fryers. We know we don't need to see them, and that's cluttering your space, especially if you have a small kitchen. Okay, sis? All right. Imagine this with me, right? It's in spring or it's in summer on a Sunday morning. You wake up and you go to your beautiful kitchen, big or small, it doesn't matter because it's amazing right now, okay? And you have these beautiful blinds or roller shades, and then you just open them up all the way, and all of that sunlight just comes inside, okay? Then you open your window, and then there's all that beautiful, nice, fresh air coming in. Ooh! And then you have this beautiful view of like a garden with different plants, colors, just everything, every color you can think of is coming out, and you can hear the sound of the birds. Ooh! And then you just go to your coffee machine, you make yourself a nice vanilla or chocolate coffee. Imagine that. And it's so early in the morning. You're here in your house, in your beautiful dream house. You literally feel like you're in fucking Italy, like a village in France, even. Like, I mean, what do you mean? Like, don't show yourself nice things. Don't show yourself nice things. You can do this, okay? You can do